when I started at the foundation 6 years ago, we had only one partner in Africa. I would say two. ASEC is based in the US, but we had work happening in Aqueka, and it was a grant to build, to renovate something, the building. So those were the only partners. But something Mark did not talk about, and you will be hearing more about it, is about what we call localization. We are trying to empower or to support local organizations because you understand the work and you are doing the work. How can we enable you instead of funding organizations that are thousands of miles away to come and do the work here? So here is our Catholic Sisters strategy. Before, the team that we are working together, Mark is on top of me here. I report to him. So what you heard Angelique saying about, every comma, he studied in Harvard, where I studied only in a place maybe you cannot even mention. He has the language. So I report to Mark. On the side you see Sonia, and you see someone called Lion. Sonia supports us in the work of learning and evaluation. And then Lion supports us on the work on advocacy. Then we have Angelique and JC. These are two team members. We will be adding another one at that level. And then we have other team members here, program associates and also administrative assistants, and we are adding 2 more because the initiative has grown. So that's what Mark talked about it. That's why we are having Catholic Sisters strategy. Our work for the Catholic Sisters has 2 major goals. One is supporting the Catholic sisters themselves, and you will see that coming up in our first strategy. Creating that global sisterhood, supporting sister spirituality, and helping them to become a vital force in whatever work they are doing. And the second is to support sisters and others in the work that they are doing to transform children, youth, and families who are living in conditions of disadvantage so that they can become independent, self-sufficient, and contribute to the vibrancy of the communities. And we saw some of those ministries yesterday. And in terms of transforming those ministries, there is also work we are doing with several of you, those social ministries transforming themselves so that they can become sustainable. Why do we focus on the sisters? You can see the number. We are more than the number of priests in the entire world. Look at the schools, look at the social services, and look at the healthcare, and many other in agriculture sector that the work the sisters are doing. Yet, even with doing all this type of work, you find they are working in the marginal areas where the resources are quite minimal. Go to the Mogadishu, you will find sisters there. Go to South Sudan, you will find sisters in the very deep pocket where none else is existing. So that's why we are doing the work of Catholic sisters. So that's our strategy overall. It's 4 major strategies and then 14 sub-strategies. We have strategy area 1 focuses on everything relating to the Catholic sisters. Elderly care, financial and sustainability of their organizations. That's the work we are doing with Strathmore. Building the capacity of the organization so that they can become sustainable. We have not to think of now. We have to think 10, 20 years. How will the sisterhood be maintained and supported? The other strategy is on ministries of human development, then on creating a global movement, and I'm going to go run that through very quickly. Strategy area 1. Many of you, the universities represented here, we've talked about skills building. ASEC skills building. AUSK has several. SCORE ECD is skills building plus supporting children at that underage. So you find there is a lot that we are supporting sisters. Spiritual nourishment so that they can go back in the service, in service. Sometimes when you work in those, you are listening to people counseling things when you go to the refugee centers, when you go to people who are living, like where we were this morning at the slums of Kibera, you need somewhere to step back, renew yourself so that you can come back. We've had sisters suffer from compassion fatigue. So basically, that's what that strategy is all about, ensuring the well-being of the sisters. If we talk about saving for elder care, when I'm getting only $100 a month, how much will I eat and how much will I keep for tomorrow? If I'm working as a pastoral worker in a parish, sisters are paid $20 a month. So how can they sustain themselves? So we need to care for them about that. The next strategy is about the people sisters serve. When they acquire education, it's not just to say, I have a PhD in XYZ or I have a master's in XYZ. That education is transferred into the work that the sisters are doing. And many of you can attest here. When you hear sisters are working on human trafficking, it's sometimes going out at night in the brothels to rescue, to support and accompany people who are broken psychologically, spiritually, and even injured physically. So that kind of work, the sisters are doing it. So one of the things we are trying to do is creating opportunities for livelihoods and career pathways. The Sister-led Youth Empowerment Initiative, you had several people talking about it. So that's what we are providing skills so that we can open up. It will reduce human trafficking because those youths have something to look forward to. The work on quality education, healthcare access, and anti-human trafficking work. The AOSK has just initiated through our work together and having more conversation, Catholic Sisters Health Association. The facility is run and operated by the sisters. We support them, but we cannot be able to support every facility individually. We worked with several of you on sister-led, sister vaccine, to increase vaccine uptake. Through that kind of healthcare network if there is a pandemic, we have a network to ignite and say, let's go to the forefront, let's start tackling these issues. But now, when the pandemic happened, who is working on the vaccine? Who is working on this? We didn't know where to get the system. Yes, you are there and you are doing the work as individual ministries. But when connected, we have the power and we have capability of leveraging other resources. Our third strategy is on several elements. First, if I start on the lower side, we need data. You had Candida talking about Sarah. We need data to help us make decisions that are going to help inform on social issues that we address, whether it's on policy. But without choreographed and analyzed and well-analyzed data and report, then we'll keep on saying, oh, sisters are doing great. Show me. You tell me a story. But that does not give the holistic of the impact of the reach of the work of the sisters. That's why data is important. As much as we are talking about the sisters cannot work alone and succeed. They have to work with many of you. We work with Hemisphere, we work with Catholic University, we also work with the Vatican. When Pope Francis launched on March 27, 2020, COVID-19 Commission, we stepped in and said, how can we support and how can we work together? And that's how we came to with the Father Charles and others, Sister Basilisa, and the network here in Kenya, then Zambia, then Uganda, then Ghana, then outside of this country, beyond. Because that's the partnership with the church on refugees and migration, on integral human development. Then the sister's voice, even if we keep doing good work and then we are covering it with a lamp, nobody will ever say, this is a good model, let's roll out it to the next area, so that we keep on educating. In this country, Catholic Sister School Team, am I correct? Have you heard that in the newspaper? Talk of Rirota, Precious Blood Girls, talk of Bahati Girls, talk of, several schools are. Who knows what is the increase and why the schools do the best? Is there any report that is saying, this is what the sisters do? Loretos have great schools. Who knows? But everyone, because they saw 2-3 schools that are doing very well, go take your children to Catholic Sister School. No study that has said, these are the Catholic schools led by the Catholic sisters. This is how they are doing their work. This is how they are educating. We need to take those models and roll out so that all children can succeed. Because when the children succeed, our society is strengthened and improves. So that's why, if then we could create that kind of a model, we can go out and say, you, the government, this is the best way to educate. This is the best way you can help to break the barriers of education. So that elevating sisters' voice is critical, and we have several initiatives that are coming up so that we give sisters those platforms. You did it very well with the Sister Vaccine Ambassador Program, helping people to increasing uptake of vaccine. So those voices need to be heard more and more, not just for the sake of the voices, but help to transform policy. help to transform our communities, help to transform the communities that we serve, and help bring new way and fresh blood into the work. So that's why and of course, through that, we might be able to attract more to come and follow us. Don't you think that's a good thing? So, global networks. We are doing this work because there are so many congregations, 164 here in the country, learning so many type of programs. We can't be able to fund each of the congregation individually. But when we network, we are able to flow resources so that then we can be able to say what is the collective impact of the work of the sisters and those they partner with to transform the communities where they serve. That's what we apply, those networks. And also globally, like when you look at on the work on human trafficking, sisters have Teresa Kum at the global level. Sister Lucy talked about Religious Against Human Trafficking with Sister Laura here. That's a network in this country. There is a network in Uganda. There is a network in many other countries. Then Constellation. Then globally, we are talking as one, the global sisterhood. And then finally is the leadership. Yes. So that's a part of the leadership we are trying to do. So that's the part of advocacy. These three sisters, you may know them. That's Sister Carol Kihan, who is leading the healthcare task force, working very closely with Father Charles. So I talk with Sister Carol very closely, and we work together very well. So Sister Florence, I have worked with Sister Florence for many years. She popped with a placard at the police station in Nigeria saying, human trafficking has to stop. And the police had also to follow her with the sisters to go and lobby and say, no, we need to pass a policy because Nigeria was one of the largest, the country where many, many people were being repatriated. One day I remember I was going to Rome and 18 of them had died on the Red Sea crossing. So we don't need that to happen. So sisters are leading that. She's a lawyer, very good advocate. Sister Rosemary Nyirumbe, you know her from Uganda, with the girls that had been rescued being soldiers during the Kony time. So she has created a whole institution where she's transforming these young women who were mistreated and so many things happened to them, became mothers at a very early age. So she's an advocate for women. We need those positions, not to fulfill ourselves, but to help bring change in the society where we live. So, the final slide here is about evaluation, and Sonia will be talking about that, and research, and you will be hearing a little bit of that more. So here are some of our partners, represented, and this is only a small portion. We have over 90 partners in different places and in different works. So even if you don't see your logo there, know that you are our partner and we're going to be putting your logo there, or we could put several slides in that. Some logos just show the logo, Justice, you can see yourself there. African Faith and Justice is based in Washington, D.C., but it's doing a lot of advocacy work. We have the UISG, Nigeria, Strathmore, and all. So Sonia, is to you now.